What are the chemical symbols for the following ions? Include charges. A. Nitrate. B. Hydrogen phosphate. C. Sulfuric acid. D. Sulfate. E. Hyposulfite. The quickest and easiest way to solve these problems would be to write down the prefixes chart and follow it throughout the problems. Begin the problems by seeing if they have the usual amount of oxygen or if they have a +1 or -1 or -2. The best way to remember the number and charge on the ions is to draw this box around the periodic table. The square in the middle has 4 oxygens while all of the rectangles around it have 3. To remember charges, just remember that the halogens have a -1 charge and the chalcogens have a -2 charge, while the group right next to them has a -3 charge. Nitrogen, carbon, and boron have a -1, -2, and -3 charges. After having set up this information, you can easily follow the path and solve each problem quickly. Since nitrate contains the usual number of oxygens, looking at the periodic table, it has 3 oxygens and the charge is -1, so the formula is NO3-. Phosphate has the usual number of oxygens as well, so the formula is PO4 3-. However, there's a hydrogen at the front, so the -3 and plus combine to have a -2 charge, and the formula becomes HPO4 2-. Looking at sulfuric acid in the prefixes chart, we see that Ic stands for the usual number of oxygens. However, the acid includes an H+. So, sulfate will have an SO4 with a 2- charge formula with an addition of 2 hydrogens to balance the -2 of the sulfate. The formula now becomes H2SO4. Sulfate has the usual number of oxygens, and looking at the periodic table, it has a charge of -2, therefore the formula is SO4 2-. Looking at hyposulfite, we see that hypo and ite indicate that there are 2 less oxygens than the usual on the sulfate. Since the usual of sulfate is SO4 2-, we subtract 2 oxygens and keep the same charge. The formula now becomes SO2 with a -2